a lead generation, which is also called as joint ventures. If you have heard this word called as joint venture, what do you understand by the joint ventures? Can you let me know what exactly joint venture means to you?
Just in layman terms, I'll explain. So,
Huh.
in joint venture, basically what happens is you are, you have a certain set of things that you are good at.
Hmm.
Someone else may be good at some other thing, which is their
Hmm.
field. You
Hmm.
join hands together
Hmm.
to bring up your business also, and that the person with whom you're joining will also benefit from joining as a team with you.
Hmm. Correct. That is right. But can you help me understand this very much, very specifically from the point of business?
Means you are saying for an example I should give you.
Hmm.
Okay. So suppose I am into creative marketing or
Hmm.
creative part of sales, even
Hmm.
though it is a sales, but I am into the creative or the digital part. The
Hmm.
other person may be into the sales, but in the offline mode of sales.
Hmm.
So where they can joint venture together for sales again, means which is the main target.
Hmm.
Uh, Means the digital person can help the offline person to come aboard, in the digital world,
Hmm.
and the person who's in the offline mode can help in to give them the leads that are already there with him in the offline mode.
Exactly. That's exactly it means in business. I will just rephrase what Nisha has told. She has actually told the right thing on bang on. So this is one thing that is there in the market. It works in the traditional way of lead generation. Now I'll give another example. Say for example, I'm the one person who has a business and I'm actually in the repair of AC. Okay, I take care of the AC, which I repair and maintain. So there are two things that I do. I have a database of 500 people in my list. Now I keep on servicing them, but that is not giving me a growth. Now, what do? I go in the market and talk about joint ventures. Now, who are the joint ventures? Say, for example, if I go to one flat, I understand in that flat, they have also a requirement of maybe a termite person who takes care of it, maybe a person who takes care of the waterproofing, maybe a person taking care of something else. So these are basically a joint ventures. Now I'll make a list of these people in and around my area. I reach out to them and say, you know what? I do this business, you do this business, our clientele is the same. Can we have a joint venture? What I can do and offer to you, I have a set of 500 people. Let me give you a sample of 50 people. Why don't you reach out to them and increase your business? And against that, what I want is your 50 people where I can reach out, naming, asking your reference, and then I can increase your business. So in the same area you are actually having a joint venture. You have to make sure in joint venture the business line is extrapolate. They are different business line, but the target audience is the same. It does take time to get into these kind of venture because people don't easily get into sharing their lead, because lead is a data mine. But trust me, this still works a lot. This still works a lot because in today's world also word of mouth is a big time reference. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's one part of joint venture. Then you have many lead generation. If I have time in the end, I'll speak about that. That's how you do a lead generation. So let's start the session, which is the closing part, because no matter how beautifully you have done your presentation, no matter how good relationship you had with your clients, no matter how good you have spoken to them, but if they don't pay you the money at the end of the day for the product or service that you're selling, there is no sales. There is no sales. Sales require exchange of money. That's as simple as that. So now I have few questions here. If you can see on the screen, why do you buy this? Why do you buy a washing machine?
Functional value, easy to use, time saving. Multitasking can be done, many things.
Yes, you buy washing machine because there is a need, because that saves your time and your clothes are being taken care of. Right?
Correct.
That's
Okay, so now just understand, you go to a marriage which is like a good marriage, expensive marriage. Now, why do you buy an expensive cloth for yourself? Don't you have clothes at home? Why do you still go ahead and buy expensive clothes? And you always try to go to the best of the shops when you have an expensive marriage in your family.
so that you
You
don't
do.
look out of place.
You don't look out of place.
Yeah.
Correct. Why do you buy a four-wheeler?
Comfort.
Okay. Why do you buy a premium four-wheeler?
It's for us for the snob appeal of or positioning oneself in a particular
In the
class.
society, yeah.
Correct. Why do you buy a Renault pen?
It writes smoothly, the most smooth pen.
Why do you buy medicine?
Need
Okay. Why do you buy a stylish shoes?
to get a foot pain.
To get a?
Foot pain.
Okay. You might have 100, you might have 5 lipsticks minimum, everybody. I'm assuming that. But you still go ahead and buy lipsticks every time. So why do you have different shades of lipstick? Because 1 or 2 lipsticks are more than sufficient for you to take care of 6 months.
Too, because you want variety.
Okay. Why do you buy a sunscreen?
I always felt that was
Protection.
a scam, but yes. Save
It's
yourself.
a need.
It's a need. Okay. Why do you buy a house?
It is a mental satisfaction of a secure place, and that you don't have to move around here and there.
Correct. Fair. So you have seen that there are different random things that I asked you. It could be a Renault pen, a stylish shoes, or different shades of lipstick, or a house, or premium car. There were many things. I'll tell you, people buy because of only 4 of these things. Apart from this, there's nothing that people buy on. So you buy washing machine because there is a need of washing machine in your place, because that saves your time and that saves your energy, so that you can put your energy in something else. You can be productive for a day. You buy a stylish shoes because there is a want, because somebody is your neighbor is trying to show you something. Oh, I have this kind of money. Now there is a want about it. There is a want that I also want that shoes. I also want shoes which look stylish and people look up to my shoes. It's a want. I buy a I buy a house because I want to feel secure. I want to understand that this is my house. So emotion comes into picture. And you buy an expensive clothes for that expensive wedding. Frankly, I'll tell you, you sometimes do not need that even. But you still go and buy because that's called as a FOMO. Fear of missing out. Because you have a mindset that if I don't buy the latest fashion, people might think that, oh, I either do not have money or do not have the style, or people might not talk to you, or you will feel out of place. People only buy because of this 4 reasons. One is need, one is want, one is emotion, and one is FOMO. Apart from this, there is nothing that I've come across in this 20 years of my career that people buy from. There. Now, the very important question is that how do you understand that what are they actually getting into? So even if you go to a Chroma and suppose I start looking at the fridge, and by the way, I have gone there to buy a TV, but sometimes I land up buying the fridge rather than a TV because I went to buy something else. Maybe I went to buy something else. I'll tell you a recent example that has happened to me. I went to a store, a Nykaa store, not a Nykaa store. There is one store here, basically, which has a lot of beauty products. So I went there to buy a heat instrument, a heat protector serum for myself when I put, when I do a straightening part of it. But trust me, that costed only 5,000 rupees, but I landed up buying a hair straightener, which is costing me 5,000 rupees. Okay. Now, frankly, what do you think would have happened there? In fact, Mia sales coach also got, carried away with that. What do you think? What would have happened there? Just tell me, if you are a salesperson, what would you ask me? She was tremendously good salesperson. I was actually observing her.
Can you please repeat, because I was doing something, sorry.
Sure, no problem. So I was asking a question. It's a few days back scenario. I went to a shop in Bangalore. This shop is basically having a lot of stuff when it comes to human beauty products. So I went there to buy a hair serum protector, which is very important when you do a straightening. Now what happened was when I landed, and that costed around 5,500 to 600 rupees only. I went to buy that product, but after some time, trust me, I was actually paying 5,500 rupees, one for the protector and one for the straightener machine itself, which was of a brand called as Baron, and that costed me 5,000 rupees. Now, this is exactly how you do. This is what has happened. So when I was actually buying a serum, the girl actually who came to me, she said, "Oh, you are using a serum for the first time?" I said, "No, I already have a serum. And now that serum is over, so I'm just looking for a new serum. And I want a little more on the higher side that helps me protect my hair." Amazing. She did not even spoke after that. She said, she showed me exactly the serum. Now, this is the first fundamental of sales. Sell people what they need and then sell what they want. So she never questioned me. She said, "Okay, I'll show you some of the serum." She gave me serum 1, 2, 3. She asked me, "What is the budget for the serum? What is that you're looking at?" and all that stuff. And she showed me a serum. Then she said, "Why do you use a serum?" I said, "Of course, I use a heat protect. Of course, I'm using a straightener mostly all the time because I'm a trainer. So the presentation has to look good. My hair has to look straight because I have a baby hair." So she said, "Okay, so which straightener are you using?" Just casually, not even bothered that she's going to pitch me something. Very casually. "Oh, you might have a good straightener, na?" She assumed that I had a good straightener. Okay. I said, "No, yeah, my straightener is not even working properly. It's like I have to keep on doing it again and again and again so that it gives me a straightening point." Then she's like, "But if you're putting up so much of straightening, of course it is spoiling your hair. Why don't you look for some straightener which gives you a stroke in one thing only?" And I was like, "Okay." And what does that? She did not even talk about the price and something. And she said, "Just look at it. It's not compulsory for you to buy. See, any which ways, if my objective is to always take care of my hair and also look good." So basically, she created a want in me, because she understood that my straightener is not working. And I'm telling that this one line, I actually do 4 or 5 times my straightening, and then the straightening comes, and it is very difficult to do it from the back. That was where she actually catch hold to me. And she said, it is still damaging you, or this protector is not going to help me. And that was her pitch line. Trust me. And I was like, "Oh, इसे pitch मारा अभी." मुझे समझ आ रहा है कि वो मुझे पिच दे रही है, बट मुझे फिर भी लग रहा है कि नहीं प्रोडक्ट देख तो लेते हैं. Are you understanding what am I saying? That's the power of the salespeople.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I went to the first floor. She showed me something which is very, very okay, which was 2,500. And then she said, "इसमें ना 2 या 3 stroke मारना पड़ेगा." See how smartly she said that. मैंने कहा अच्छा, मैंने फिर करके दिखाया उसने, and वो उसने अपने बाल पे करके दिखाया. See the strategy now. She did that on her hair. And then she said, "I'll show you one more, and that I'll apply it on your hair." And that was 5,000 rupees. And she just did it one time and it got so straight. And that was done on my hair. Are you understanding how she created the want in me just based on the need of my product? And then at the counter center, I was like, कि मैं 500 रुपए का सामान खरीदने लेकर आई थी, मैं 5,000 का खरीद रही हूँ. मतलब मैं 2 मिनट तो मेरे को ऐसे धक्का लग गया. And I actually bought it. Because now the want is, and I'll tell you, want, people still compromise on need, but people don't compromise on want.
Yeah.
Because the want का जो desire होता है ना, it is so heavy that you don't know how to balance it. See the strategy. The first strategy, she gave me what I want. She did not even spoke about anything about it. Then she asked probing questions to me. The probing questions were very simple. Since how many days are you using this? So you might, and then she assumed and she commented on me, "You might have a good straightener, I'm sure about it." Then of course somebody says, and you tend to fall for it. You tend to fall for it. Are you getting? So people buy need, want, emotions, and FOMO. When you go to buy a real estate. Emotion plays a very crucial role. People who sell you real estates are extremely good to take care of your emotions. I have seen somebody, I actually went to some real estate company and I was actually pitching that, telling them about the sales. And I went for the mystery shopping there as one of my subject. So one salesperson, actually, there was one couple, okay, one couple, there was husband, wife, grandmother-in-law, sorry, the mother-in-law, and there was no child there. I was just sitting there. I was just observing the salesperson. So that salesperson actually asked the couple, so do you have kids? So they said, no, we do not have a kid right now. So, bole, amazing. So, maine kaha, how old is your marriage? So the couple said it is like 5 years old, the marriage is. Then the salesperson told that you might be planning for the kids, right? Or are you just drop the ideas of having a kid? So the salesperson was the client was, oh, no, of course we want kid, and of course we are going to have a kid. And then he was like, you know what? I totally understand. Everybody wants kid, and I'll tell you, मेरे जो उसको बोलना था कि मेरे आसपास स्कूल है, ये है, वो है, सब बोला उसने. और उसके बाद उसने एक और चीज बोली. उसने बोला, I'll tell you one thing very importantly. See, in today's world, as you are a very modern parent, you don't want your kids to be very much into education, but you want your kids to be physically very fit, because that's where the whole scenario comes in. So, मैं जो आपको फ्लैट बता रहा उसके एग्जैक्टली नीचे स्विमिंग पूल है, और जो आप अपने घर से देख सकते हो कि आपका बच्चा सेफ है कि नहीं है. एंड इन फैक्ट you should be, you can send your child for 1 hour, 2 hours. You don't have to waste your time. You can just observe them from the top. They are in the swimming pool, which is a 4 feet swimming pool. And for the kids and toddlers, we have 2 feet swimming pool. And trust me, you will be very happy and you will be thankful to me. The sales guy is telling to the client, you will be thankful to me. Emotions. Are you getting what am I saying? So you have to play with need, wants, emotions, and FOMO. And you only can do that when you actually know how to probe questions. So probing questions is very important skills in sales. Most of the sales has been closed if you exactly know what to target, where to target. Do you want to target the needs? Do you want to target the want? Do you want to target the emotion? Do you want to target the FOMO? So you understand this and people buy because of this only. So any question here?
No.
Okay, amazing. So there is a small activity which I want you all to do. It could be just 5 minutes activity. So pick up any object that you have in your mind or in your surrounding. Now, try to sell either to me or pick up any of your colleagues also. I'm okay with that. Who will pick up what? Can you just pick up any object and create a pitch? Just create a scenario and tell me how would you do that? What would you create? You will create a need, want, FOMO, or emotions. Can you do that? Steel flask to hold water. Okay, fair enough. Flask, sorry. Steel flask to hold water. So do you want to sell that? Fair, sell it. Okay. So would you like to unmute yourself and sell that to me? We'll try now. Okay, Manju. So the scenario is, I have come to a place. I have come to a utensil place. Okay, utensil place. I have come to buy just something about the crockeries. Okay, but you have got a new steel flask in your company, on your store, and they're amazing. They're very good quality. They have been bought with a very good pricing structure also. But I, as a client, has come to that place to just see some crockery. So nowadays, if you know that utensil shop also have a lot of stuff like this, right? So I am a customer. I just walked in. But my need is to buy a crockery. Unmute.
Hi. Do I
Hi.
have to on the camera also?
No, that's okay. You can just pitch me like that only if you don't want to be on the camera. But it would be great if you would like to come on camera because that's very amazing to look at somebody and talk.
Yeah, I'll just show the flask and then I'll switch off.
Why?
Okay. I mean, because of the issue of the networking
Okay.
issue.
Okay.
I
Okay. That's a
this is the
flask.
one.
Okay. Sell it to me.
Yeah, hi. This is a steel flask which is from Milton, and it is a thermo steel flask. So that means to say, when you carry water, especially when you're staying in Bangalore, you will be, subjected to a lot of pollution, and also the air you breathe might affect your throat, and also it's always best to carry a flask which
No, no, no,
keeps
madam. I
the
don't
water
want it. Ma'am, I
warm.
already have. No, madam,
Sorry.
I already have.
You might be having some other kind, but not a steel flask because the steel is a stainless steel. It's a grade 18 stainless
No, no,
steel.
ma'am, I have a stainless steel only and I got a very good quality. I don't want it. Thank you.
Okay, I mean, if you don't want it, I can't sell it to you.
No,
Yeah,
no, no,
if it's
no, you can
possible
still
to
sell
sell
it.
it. Then okay, I mean, you might be having. You may be having, but there are other members in your family who might not be having it. It's very easy to carry, and so many times, like it falls on the ground. Also, it doesn't break. It's very handy. It can be taken anywhere. It's portable, and the thing is, the water remains warm even after like many hours of using it. So I feel like this is a must product which everyone should have in their bag or in their lunch bag or even their carry bag or wherever they go. And it looks very fancy too, and it looks very clean, hygienic. You can clean it very easily. And
Mhm.
I feel that this is a product which everyone should have. Where we are surrounded by plastics, people will be having a plastic water bottle or they buy water bottle, paying money and all. But if you have a container or a flask like this, which can hold water, it's a lifelong investment for you, and you need not have to worry about, getting the plastics into your system or something like that. So
Okay.
this keeps you
Ma'am,
healthy.
I'll think
So
about it. I'll think about it.
yeah, sure.
Okay.
And there's an offer also. Like if you buy this steel flask today, there's a carry bag along with it, which can be slipped along your shoulders like a sling bag. So even when you're traveling or bicycling, I mean going on a cycle, or, by to your work or something, you
Hmm.
can simply carry your water bottle along with the sling bag. So
Hmm.
this is an offer and it's a limited offer, and the offer is only for 2 days.
Okay.
So yeah.
Thank you,
So
ma'am.
this is the product which I've been using and many of my friends are using, and they have given a very good feedback. So I feel like this is a must thing for every family
Okay.
who
Thank you,
cares
Manju.
about the health. Yeah.
Manju, I would like to sit down to crockery right now. I'll talk. I'll think about it. Thank you for your information.
Swati, she
Thank
can
you.
add one more thing, no? Like since it is like you can say that okay, you are buying the crockery, that's really nice. We have a special deal going on, which is including a plus at a different price once you buy your crockery. Will you be interested?
Okay. Anybody else would like to give a try on that? Amazing. That is also a good point that we can do. Anybody else? Okay. Now my question to each one of you: would you buy this product from her? How many of you will buy product from her? Shruti, would you buy a product from her?
No, I wouldn't.
Why?
Because she was pitching a product which I don't need at the moment. I have to
Hmm.
create the need or a want.
Hmm.
And both she couldn't create in me.
Okay, fair. So now I'll tell you to everybody when she was pitching. See, she did a good job, no doubt. Please give a round of applause to her. She gave a try. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much, Manju, for that. But now let's talk real sense. Yes, Nisha.
That's what, like, it was like as if someone is nagging you for something. It is not actually attracting like a magnet towards that product.
Correct.
Like, okay, you are just pushing and pushing the person. You take. So it is basically like, you are chasing the person and the person is really reluctant.
Correct. Thank you, Nisha. Now, exactly this has happened over here. What she was doing, see, my need was to buy a crockery, and you have to create a want in me to sell a product which has come new to your place. Now, what she was doing is a terminology. It has nothing to do with you, Manju, but it's a terminology which is called a sales vomit. Okay. Now, what does sales vomit means? You're just talking about the features about your product, but you're not talking about the benefit of the product. So the whole conversation that you had was talking about the product's features, but it was not about the benefit. Second important thing which you missed out in the conversation, you did not created the want initially. So want is never created at the end part of the conversation. They are created at the initial part of the conversation. Say for example, I come to the showroom and I say I want a crockery, and you are showing me a crockery, and then you create sometimes a pitch around you. Just say for example, this is all tactics when it comes to B2 selling. There are two people who will come and says, "Arey wo 10 ka order aa gaya us flask ka." Now this is just a creation. This is a want that this is a made up. Yes, I just made up. Absolutely okay. Absolutely okay. In fact, thank you for doing that, Manju, because the more you talk, the more everybody talks, the more you make small errors. That helps me to make you understand this is exactly what you should not be doing on the floor. So this could be something made up. This could happen instantly on your mind ki chalo, let's made up like this. Okay. Now somebody would have come and said ki usko 10 ka flask aa gaya. Or else, suppose if there is nobody in your showroom, you could have just said, this is a crockery. Okay. Anything else that you would like to buy? Once you have made the final decision, the client has made a final decision which crockery to buy, then very slightly you have to go, okay, are you looking for something else? Are you looking for something which is more, are you looking for something else? He or she might have told, no. फिर आप उसको धीरे से बोल सकते हो, can I show you a new product which has come in the market? Trust me, it is one of the good product which we have come with the last 1 month. And just मैं चाहता हूँ कि आप देख लो, उसके बाद आप decide कर लो. Now you show the flask and say, this is a flask by Milton. And then you talk about it. Now, when you use the word Bangalore has no problem when it comes to people can, be without water for 2 hours because the weather of the Bangalore is not like that. But what happens with the Bangalore is that when you travel and when you get something stuck in between, you don't have a water in between because the distance is too much. The water doesn't keep at the normal temperature. Now, you could have used this example that if you are traveling in Bangalore, and of course, you know that travel is too long, anything which is for 10 kilometers, you have to take 1 hour of travel. Of course, you need a water for that. And now people have become more, the looks of the bottle has to be equally important. Now, these are the benefits. You created a benefit on the looks of the bottle. You created the looks, the travel portion पे आपने उसकी need create, उसकी want create की. कि अरे पानी लगेगा तो आप कहाँ जाओगे? Then you have to park the car. Sometimes you don't get the parking. If you talked about that very specifically, then this is an answer and not the answer that कि Bangalore में पानी लगे. वो तो हर city में भी लगता है. Are you getting what am I saying here, Manju? The second thing, now he said, no, I do have, suppose I say, no, I do have a lot of bottles in my place. Okay, just 1 second, Nisha, let me just complete this conversation. Of course, people will say that the bottles, I have enough of bottle at my place. Now, this is an objection. You have to understand, ladies, that objection cannot be answered by answering that, oh, you buy for your somebody in the family members. Now it becomes salesy. Now, when the objection like this come, it has to be solved through analogy. It has to be solved through analogy. What does an analogy mean? Of course, I understand that you might have 2-3 bottles in your place. Of course. But let me ask you one question. You might also have so many clothes, but you still go ahead and buy clothes. There are so many lipsticks that you have in your wardrobe, but you still go ahead and buy a wardrobe. If you talk to a male, you have to talk from his perspective. When you talk to a female, you talk to his from his perspective, her perspective. When you have an objection like this, It has to be solved through analogy. Please don't try to justify that or tell them, okay, you buy it to somebody else, because that's called salesy. And that's a very thin line where not to become a salesy person. Most of the analogies work. Are you getting what am I saying? So that's exactly, you solve, you control the conversation. That's exactly where the sales come, and you don't become a salesy person. So these are small steps. So when people give an objection and you do not have an answer, try to solve it through analogy, because analogy works very amazingly. There are so many things that you can use. Somebody recently said me something. I said, दूध पीने के लिए गाय थोड़ी खरीदनी पड़ती है, madam. Are you understanding? She said, I have so many of this. What do I do? Ye, wo, dimka, dimka. I said, what are you looking at? So she said, I just want a solution. मैं कहा दूध पीने के लिए मैडम गाय नहीं खरीदना पड़ता, कि दूध खरीदना पड़ता है. And that's where I closed the deal. So the deal was not closed on the convincing power. The deal was closed on analogy power. Are you getting it? The second way of closing a deal is that when somebody says, oh, it is too expensive, I don't want it now. Now, you as a salesperson has to be so confident and ask, I understand it's expensive. Can you give me 2 reasons why do you think it is expensive? Now you understand the ball has gone to his or her court, and now he is justifying why it is expensive. And then you say, see, you know the answer, it is expensive because this is a brand. This is going to give you this quality. It is going to be there. And then just very smartly you say, कि अगर आप 100 रुपए खर्च करके उसको 2 साल चलाते हो 365 डेज के हिसाब से, तो आप सोचो आप दिन का कितना खर्च करते हो, 1 रुपया. Now this is where the calculation of the salesperson come, and this is where the smart sales people actually close you the deal. Are you understanding what am I saying? That's how you close the deal, become without being salesy and without being realizing that, okay, you have been sold. Remember one thing, human psychology ke hisab se, people hate to get sold. People love to buy. Always remember this fundamental at the frontal part of your life. People don't like to get sold. People love to buy. So the moment you sell them, they will not buy even if they have the requirement. But if you tell them that you need that, they will buy it no matter if they have to use their credit cards also, or they have to take a loan from somebody. And whether you are in India or you're sitting in USA, doesn't make a difference. It's the same psychology. If the physiology of the body is the same, the psychology of the emotions are the same across the world. Does that make sense? Okay, any questions now? Now you ask me.
No, I wasn't asking a question. I said one more way of addressing is while we are showing the crockery, you can say, you can start the conversation as you said for the hair straightener, no? So similarly, the person can start that the weather in Bangalore is changing quite fast and it is becoming very hot these days. So there is now a more requirement, and people are started through buying a flask, and here I have this flask.
Okay, no, you should never do that. I'll tell you why. Because if the person has come with a mindset and he has not come for the strolling of anything, and he has come with something in the mind, you have to first clear that. Always remember, sell them what they need first. So that conversation has to get completed. In that conversation, you can just question them, but you can never pitch them. Always remember, in that conversation, never pitch them. That's where they will say, मुझे ये भी नहीं खरीदना, मुझे वो भी नहीं खरीदना, मुझे कुछ नहीं खरीदना. And that's exactly what you also do.
Okay.
Because now you are confusing a client because he came with a mindset and you are saying कि भैया ये मत खरीद, तू ये खरीद. The client will say नहीं खरीदना मेरे को तेरे से, मैं किसी और के पास जाके खरीदूंगा.
No, but you're just starting a conversation saying that, okay, I'm showing you the crockery, but see now this is also happening.
No. You are just going to ask questions. Okay, so you are buying a crockery because, oh, I need a crockery because of this. आपके mind में क्या है crockery खरीदने के लिए? अच्छा, you have people around you, so you have lot of dinners at your place. Oh, amazing. So you prepare dinners at home and you serve. Okay. So how do you serve water? How do you serve water? So do you have a flask? That's how you start building up.
Yeah.
Are you that's a
Okay.
flow. You have to build the flow. Now you are asking a question, and sometimes even asking a question, you have to understand. हो सकता है वो बंदा बोल दे कि नहीं नहीं मैं तो बाहर से लाता हूँ. Amazing. Okay. There has to be something, फिर उसके बाद आप बोलोगे ठीक है amazing. Then you again sell what they need, and then don't talk about the flask. And then once it is all, the whole conversation is over, then you open up again new conversation stating that do you look for somebody else, something else? Oh no, I'm not interested. I just want to buy this. Would you like to take a look? देखने का तो पैसा नहीं लगता है. This is one typical line that all the West Bengal people use, especially Kolkata. मैम देखने का पैसा नहीं लगता है, फ्री में देखो, और दिल खुला के देखते हैं वो लोग. और फिर पता है क्या होता है? What happens is if they open 10 pieces, you become like a psychological pressure कि अब तो कुछ खरीदना ही पड़ेगा ना, because they have opened so many things for you. This is a strategy.
Or we can ask like why you made your choice to buy this crockery. There's crockery display, and next to it maybe there's some plastics display or something of the same type, but the customer has made a choice to buy crockery. So we can ask the customer like, what made you to buy this? I mean, a question is asked to the customer directly. And so the customer says like, yeah, I mean, this is a good product. Yeah, I mean, we even have to say this. Yeah, this is selling so much. It's a very good product what you've chosen. You're taking home a very good quality one and all. So then the customer says something like, oh, yeah, this product we are buying because of like some health benefit or some good quality. It's long lasting or something like that. So similarly, we have another product which is selling fast. You see, many people are buying this. If you're interested, you can have a look at this. Just have a look on the we can say that, and then we can introduce our product.
Acha, I'll ask you the same question. Manju, you have bought a crockery. If somebody comes and asks you this question, तुमने crockery क्यों buy की? अरे मेरी मर्जी थी.
Okay, if they say मेरी मर्जी है, तो like you can't, like there should be some reason like why they're buying it.
That's what I'm trying to explain you. The question that you frame has to be so appropriate that you derive the answers to your objective only. So don't phrase a question what answer they can generally give. Phrase a question which helps them, they answer in such a way that you come to your objective. So what is your objective? Your objective is to sell them a flask along with the crockery. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to phrase question in such a way that they start answering, and then they themselves get into the direction. Okay, let's talk about the flask also. So your question structure should be extremely your objective driven. What is your objective to sell the flask also?
Yeah, first, like we have to say, like what the choice what they made to buy the crockery is a good one. Like we have to praise the customer's choice first, and then, find out like why they went for it, or like something. How to find out, I don't know, but we have to ask a proper question so that they answer something else, like not like Mary Marzi or something, but like why they made this choice. So
See,
like.
Anju, people answer that way only. So don't expect people to be nice to you because you are nice to them, because you are selling something, but they are not liable to give you an answer. People do answer this way. Meri marzi. I answered this question many times. Somebody asked me, why have you bought? Meri marzi hai. I should not buy it.
Okay, like first we have to praise for their choice. What you have chosen is the best one. Actually, it's going fast and like number one seller. It is the number one seller, and like people are like buying it like anything. It's a lifestyle choice or something. Like saying all that, then maybe we can slowly introduce the product. Like
Yeah, so that's basically
because of the benefits, or like the similar benefits you have in this, and this is also one such product which is getting into every family is buying, because especially for school children, like they send in plastic bottles, which is not good.
This all
and
doesn't
things
come
like
into
that.
picture unless and until they are open to the conversation, have a
Yeah,
conversation
yeah.
to fix
That's what like
flask.
they have to make a choice in such a way that even this is agreeable for them, like how the crockery was okay for them. So how to do it? Like I don't know, but maybe it
No,
takes experience.
that's what I'm saying, that you have to learn the art of probing questions, and the questions has to be asked in the objective point. Now, I just realized while I was speaking to you, Swati from Harki, we can actually add one session as probing question, which we are missing on something. Just I realized that when I was having a conversation. Okay, so let's talk about the buying signal. So when people buy stuff, when they make up a mind, they actually have a buying signal. Now, as a salesperson, you have to understand what are the buying signals. Okay, now it is a behavior. I'll tell you what is the definition says. It is a behavior which demonstrates that the prospect, the client, has actively considering your product to buy. So there are buying signals. Now, as a salesperson, you should also have a fair idea what kind of buying signals that they show. So now when you say somebody started talking about a verbal communication, okay, what is the price? What price best can you give me? They start asking you more deals about it. They start asking more features or more benefits about it. Now, the moment they become literally casual while speaking to you, now I'll tell you what does that mean. When any prospect that comes to any showroom in this world or any place that they want to buy, initially they would be very rigid, including you and me also. We would not be very casual. Even if we go and buy a smallest of a thing also, we would not be casual, right? We would be very in our own zones and territory. Yes. So in our zone and territories. But the moment we become very comfortable, we says, okay, now I want to consider this product to buy. They become literally casual. This body language, this shoulders get little normal. The hands get little. These are very quick things that you need to observe. Are you getting what am I saying? So the questions that they ask you is like, what is the price? What is the negotiation? Credit card है क्या? अच्छा और क्या deal हो सकती है? ये product कब तक आया? कब आया था ये product? Now these kind of question, when the prospect start asking, he has come to a small conclusion that he is considering your product to buy. Now, as a salesperson, you have to now understand that if he has an objection, you have to tackle that objection, or you have to create an urgency so that he buys the product. Okay. Now, second, body language is also one thing that actually comes into picture. You have to understand as a salesperson the non-verbal communication. So the person will be smiling now. He would be nodding at you. He would look into your eyes. His posture of he's standing or sitting, whatever you have in your thing, he would be relaxed. He would be mirroring you. Say, for example, what happens in mirroring is, mirroring means what happens that somebody is standing like this. So the prospect also stand like this. Just called mirroring. And you don't do it by knowingly. You just do it by human way of doing it. So you always mirror. You always mirror. You, me, everybody mirrors. Okay, the facial expression becomes open, open, they become confident. This is because the confidence of the prospect means they have the money to buy it. Are you getting what am I saying? Hello, girls.
Yes.
Okay. So that's exactly the second sign off. So you have to understand these signs. Okay. The third one is that it is circumstantial. There are a lot of people in this world who are very reactive to buy. They are called as impulsive buyer. They go into a showroom, something they like, they ask the price, and then they immediately take an action and say, okay, just pack kar do isko. So the third one is a buyer. So you don't have a signals in that. It's just a buyer people. And there are a lot of buyer people which are there. So they go with a very fixed mindset. Okay, I want to buy this product from here. They take their product, make the payment, and just go out. Now, with these kind of people, if you try to make a repo, if with these kind of,
तुम जाओ
कहाँ जाना है निशा?
बेल बज गया घर में.
Okay. So with these kind of people, if you try to be transactional in your approach, they don't like it. So you have to understand with circumstantial kind of prospect, they know exactly what to buy, tell them what to buy, give them service and make their regular customer. Don't try to over upsell and cross sell to them. They are not the people to upsell and cross sell. This is also one of the psychology that you have to understand. Circumstantial people hate upsell and cross sell. Are you getting what am I saying? Any question here? Okay. Now, this is all about the physical store. It could be a mall, it could be a shop, it could be a salon, it could be interior designer, it could be architect, it could be anything. Now, there is another set of behavior which comes on online behavior. Now, what is on online behavior? When people wants to think about you, when people likes to purchase something from you, when people start building a trust on you, what they do is they start engaging with your content. So that's the reason I told you, you have to be very much there online, because personal branding is very important. If you are individual person or you are working as a freelancer with some company associated, so create your personal brand. They start engaging with your content, they start downloading something from you, they start requesting for the trials from you. Now these are some of the things. They start saying, okay, tell me PP, that is price please. So these kind of conversation, this kind of communications are basically they're showing interest on you. Are you getting what am I saying? So just to give you an update right now, what are the different companies are giving? Okay, so say for example, I was actually dealing with one company, and that company was into interior and designing. Okay, so I wanted to do something. I just wanted to do some kind of research with that company. I really like the content of that particular Instagram person. So I just interacted with that. Okay, how much is this price for the chandeliers? That was a one-stop solution. So what that whoever the content marketer of that person would be, I don't know. So what she did was, hi, this is exactly of this price. Can you just help me with your mobile number? I can send you a playbook. There is something called as a playbook, which you can download and read about different kind of chandeliers. Now, playbook means it's a new trend which is going on in the market. Is that you're giving some valuable information of that product. Okay. Now I gave her, okay, fine. Okay. And she said me that playbook consists of the pointers that you should consider while buying a chandelier. Okay. This was just because I just wanted to have a conversation with her. I love her content. So now what she did, she got my mobile number directly, first and foremost. So she has an authority to send me a message. So she sent me, hi Swati, this is this, I'm calling you from this. And as discussed, this is a playbook. I downloaded that playbook, and that playbook had only 4 pages. And that 4 pages talked about what is chandelier, what are different types of chandelier, what chandelier should you consider when you have a wall of this color or this color or this color, which are the chandeliers manufacturers in India, which are the chandeliers, how should you think that which are the crystal one and which are the opaque ones. Now, these were the pointers in that particular chandeliers. Now, this is something as a playbook. Now, that lady or man, whoever that person would be, is creating a want in me. Are you getting that? Creating a want in me. Oh, मुझे शैंडलियर खरीदना है, शैंडलियर के ऐसा भी होता है, और उसमें ये भी लिखा था कि शैंडलियर आपके घर को कितना अच्छा दिखाता है. Now that one particular content in the last page is creating a want in me. Are you getting what am I saying? Hello.
Yes.
Okay. So that's an online behavior. Online behavior में playbook बहुत चलता है. If you are into business of sales, create a playbook. You can use the friend ChatGPT, whatever product line you are into, just create a playbook. What are the topics that I can use and send to playbook? And what are the subtopics that I can talk about? It should be basic, not giving much of the information. It has to be a general content. Understand first what does a playbook means, and against them, ask their mobile number, contact detail, email ID, so that you have the data, so that you can serve them at the end of the day. Are you getting what am I saying? Okay. So these are some of the things. So there are always a signal. Everybody buys, give you signals when they buy, except the circumstantial one, which actually come, buy and go. So the most common signal that you people is doing is asking good questions. They start asking questions. The moment the prospects start asking questions, you start understanding that they have made up a mind to consider your product. It's one very important buying signal. Now I am showing you a photograph. Okay, you can see a photograph of a sofa. Everybody knows that, correct? Okay. Now I want you to tell me, if suppose you come and you go to or walk to a showroom which is selling a sofa, what, and if you consider that, okay, I want to buy this sofa, what are your verbal communication with them? What would you ask? How would you say, or as a salesperson, you understand that you have considered the product? Yes, Mira. You're on mute.
Yes. So I have come into this showroom to buy a sofa.
Hmm.
Okay. Hi. I'm looking for a comfortable six-seater sofa.
No, 1 second, Mira.
Uh,
My thing is, you have come to the showroom. You have
Yeah.
seen the product. Now you're very happy with the product. Any which ways you have a need and a want of that product. Now you
Okay.
tell me as a buying signal, how would you question? What are the verbal communication that you will talk about?
Okay. So what is the cost of this sofa?
Hmm.
You can tell me.
Okay, 1 lakh rupees.
Okay. Any discounts going on right now?
Yes, if you book today, I can give you a 10% discount. That sofa comes at 90,000 flat, and I'll give you a free delivery as well as a value added.
Oh, that's wonderful. What about the fabric? If I can see that it is green, the display piece. If I want to change it to a blue or some other color, is it possible?
Yes, we are very much there to customize the color, but there are different shades that we use for this particular sofa. I can show you some of the shades. You can choose out of that.
Okay, that's nice. What about the cushions that come with it? Do you have a fixed set of?
No, ma'am, the cushion doesn't come with the sofa. You have to buy the cushions extra. And that every cushion costs you just 500 rupees. So that is like total of 2,500.
Okay, fine. How soon can you deliver this?
Within a week.
Okay.
Amazing.
Okay.
Amazing.
We have one final question. Do you have any exchange offer? Now that I have a sofa at home and I have to bring this, what do I do with the old one? Do you have an exchange offer?
Yes, I do have an exchange offer, but there are certain terms and conditions that is applied. So how old is your sofa?
This must be close to 20 years old. It's a teak wood, old piece, like 3 generations down the line it's passed on.
But why do you want to
So
sell a teak wood? It's one of the most expensive solid wood till date also.
yeah, but nowadays these sofas, they're so comfortable. You can stretch your legs, and the newer generation wants it. They want to be more comfortable with it. So I was just considering those aspects.
Mhm.
So if I have to go back and discuss with my husband, so do you have that offer? Exchange
Yes, we
offer?
do have an offer, ma'am. As I told you that, of course, we exchange, but there is a terms and condition involved. Let me be very clear with you, because it's a 20 years sofa. We have to look for the condition. Maximum right now, I can tell you the exchange offer is of 5,000 rupees, but how much I will give you, it depends on the condition of your sofa. Do you have any photograph for the sofa, sofa, or how does that work?
I can go home and click a few pictures and share them on WhatsApp with you. So
Mhm.
then you can have a look. But 5,000, I feel, is very less for the age and the quality of wood that is there in the sofa. So I don't know if an exchange is really needed. I will consider that, and I'll go home and discuss about
Sure,
it.
ma'am. When you go home, it would be too late, and I'm just telling you that the offer is also for today for 10%. Can you just do a video call to somebody at your place and let me see the sofa? I can just do the calculation right now only. Now, this is called as an urgency of the sales, because now if you tell me to go home, if I tell you to go home and click a photo, you might change your mind and say कि नहीं खरीदना मेरे को.
That's what, yeah. Exchange offer value is hardly anything.
Correct.
Yeah,
So why would I lose the money of 90,000 on the value of exchange of 5,000 rupees?
yeah.
So most of the salespeople who does that, "Okay, you can send me a photos," they actually lose a sale. A person who is a smarter salesperson will say, "Can you have somebody at home? They can do a video call or send a photo for you. You can just close it now." This is called as an urgency of the sales. Very smartly, urgency of the sales has been created.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I got it.
Thank you for doing
Thank
that, Meera. Yes, when you talk about the verbal communications of the sofa, you talk about the leather, you talk about the material, you talk about the durability of the sofa, you talk about the availability of the colors, you talk about the matching accessories, you start about the delivery time, you express concern in the case if it is not delivered on the time. So these kind of questions are actually the buying signal that people have started considering that, okay, she or he might buy a product. Are you getting what am I saying? So immaterial of any product or service that you're selling, understand what are the buying signals that a person can give it to you when they consider your product. So you have to do that as per your product and services. Are you getting what am I saying, ladies?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
One more
Now,
part also can be done for if it's a reclining sofa or something, then how long or durable is the machinery? Is it replaceable when it gets damaged? Or what is the time span for which you get what do I say, warranty for the product?
correct. So this question is also very much valid. This kind of machine understanding of that recliner is, of course, a very valid question. People don't ask unless and until they want to consider your product. They will just be around and see, oh, the recliner, but they will not ask you a question.
Correct.
This is a very specific technical question. They will only ask you when they start considering even a 5 or 10% in their mind कि हम लोग खरीद सकते हैं. Are you getting? All right. So the now non-verbal clues. Now, what is a non-verbal clues? There are a lot of sales. There are a lot of prospects who will not speak much. Okay. There are people who don't want to speak much. Now, these are non-verbal clues of buying signals. So they will sit on sofa. They will touch the sofa. They'll check the upholstery. They will, touch the sofa like this, have a feel. Then if there are two people, they'll do some gusar there. Now, these are all non-verbal things. They smile to each other. Their smile becomes comfortable. They feel like they have owned the sofa. And then they will say, oh, so when will you do the delivery? What is the price for it? Can you give me some discount? So sometimes there are a lot of prospect who does a non-verbal clues, and then they start asking questions to you. Not necessarily they'll ask a question and then sit on the sofa. They can actually do opposite of it. And trust me, most of the people actually start doing the opposite of it, because now the prospect says कि अगर मैंने question पूछा तो मेरे पीछे पड़ जाएगा ये. Correct? उनको लगता है सेल्स बंदा पीछे पड़ जाएगा. So not to take that attention, they actually check by non-verbal communications, and then they'll ask the questions. Then when they are very clear with most of the stuff, and then they'll say, can we talk about the price? इसका price कितना है? कुछ discount चल रहा है क्या? And then they get into a verbal communication. Are you understanding what am I saying? So you as a salesperson, when you actually do a selling for any product or service or for any companies, write down what are the buying signals for non-verbal and verbal. Write down at least 10 pointers and just start looking for that clues that will make your selling, where you have to create an urgency now. This is where you have to create an urgency now. And so that there is a money which is coming out from their pocket. Because if you don't create an urgency now, they will never buy. Because understand, people always want to save money. When it comes to want, FOMO and emotions, there is always a saving of money. When there is a need, they will buy. Need generally नहीं होता है except your basic खाना पीना and enjoying yourself. इसके अलावा needs generally नहीं आते. Medicine, food are the needs. Are you getting it? So want, FOMO and emotions में urgency has to be created, but without being salesy, and that will only be created when you start understanding the buying signals. That's the whole thing that I'm trying to tell you in a very simple way. Does that make sense? Okay. So any questions before we move on the second part of it? So these are some of the things actually. So they talk about the budget. They will talk to you further. They will reveal a genuine need about it, why they want it. Sometimes the people get so comfortable. हमारा पुराना सोफा है, अब तो मेरा मन भी नहीं लगता, इतना गंदा कलर है. Now they start talking about it to you, salesperson only. There are a lot of people who does that also. That is also a buying signal. They are happy to share the key insights, as in terms of हम तो यहाँ पे काम करते हैं, हमारा घर वहाँ पे है, हमने घर अभी खरीदा है, हमको नया सोफा चाहिए. Now these kind of key insights about an individual is a complete answer of buying signals. Now in this scenario, if you don't create an urgency and take the money out of their pockets, you are not a good salesperson. As simple as that. Because they have given you every sign of buying. Okay, admit dissatisfaction with the current supplies and all that stuff. So these are some of the things. Now there are body signals also for the prospect customer. General body signals जो होते हैं when they are buying or they are happy to buy or they have an intention to buy. So they become open gesture, they look into your eyes, they nod, they lean towards you, they smile, they mirror you. But if person is negative and still inside the particular showroom and they're not getting out of the showroom, but still they are like, I just want to check everything out and then I'll decide of what I want to do after that. Or maybe I'm just doing a time pass over here. So they will have a crossed arms and crossed legs and they will say, oh, okay, acha. फिर भी when they have a crossed arm and a crossed legs and when they ask question like कितना पैसा है, कब discount है, क्या दोगे, so you have to understand they are not in the buying position because the verbal communication is not aligning with their body language. So they avoid contact. They will look here. Oh, हाँ मेरा 10 साल पुराना सोफा है. Oh, मेरा 10 साल पुराना LIC का इंश्योरेंस है. मैं करूँ कि नहीं करूँ देखता हूँ. Now they start fidgeting. Maybe with the phone they'll start keep on WhatsApping something, or they'll play with the phone, or they'll play with the nose. They start leaning back. They don't want to come towards you. They want to say, oh, I am not yet interested, but I want to have the full information. They look at the clock, they look at the phone, they have a tense expression, they give you very weird expression. Ah, itna mehenga. This is also a signal which is negative on the buying expressions. When people say, itna mehenga. When people say, ah, itna mehenga. See, the expressions are different. And if you think that salespeople don't pick up, then no, people do pick up. Smart salespeople do pick up. Do pick up. Are you getting what am I saying? So that's exactly how it works. Neutral body language is touching your face, hand gesture, food. Tumko samajh nahi aayega, so you have to have a judgment of both the parts of it. Okay. The question is, you understood what is body language, but the question is, why should you understand the body language? Why? Why is the question? As a salesperson, why you should understand the body language? Because you have to adjust your approach. Now, just imagine when Manju was speaking to me. Manju, I'm just giving you an example because you took a demo. There is no personal kind of conversation that I'm trying to do with you. Okay, it's a example. Now, when you were talking about the flask, I actually, if you would have observed, I started getting back. I was here. Then I was like, okay, I kept completely mum till the time you complete your conversation, and I said, not interested. Now, this is a body signal where the client is losing the interest. So when you start understanding the body language, you adjust your approach. In between, they ask, you should have asked me, so are you interested in buying that? Are you considering it? Now, the moment you ask me question, again, my mind is towards you. Now I'm answering to you. Now, once I answer to you, I'll make some statement which you can catch hold as a salesperson and rephrase immediately and sell something. So you should know the body language to adjust your approach. If the person has a positive body language, please continue, but still ask question. If the person has a negative body language, they cross the hands and legs, they're nodding, they're scratching their head, which means they have lost the interest in you and your product. They have lost the interest. Now you have to pick up and start asking questions so that where I start interacting. Because I am the person who is paying the money. So I have to be talking, not you have to be talking. And then tailor your pitch accordingly. Are you getting what am I trying to say, you people? Okay. So that's the thing. So general tips for a salesperson: when you promote or sell yourself as a consultant, you should express confidence, warmth, and enthusiasm. That is very important. I'll tell you, you buy product or service, anything, by 3 factors. Then this is the underlined stated rule. Okay, I am telling you, this is matlab, I'm very confident on this. People buy your product and service when there is a need and they buy it. Now, when it comes to want, FOMO, and emotion, there has to be, they pay 100 rupees and they get the value of 500 rupees. That's where they buy it. Second point. The third point is they buy on your confidence. People buy on your confidence. Trust me. जब एक सेल्स बंदा आके बोलता है ना, I am telling you, madam, this car is the #1 car and it is going to give you a mileage. Trust me, if not that I am the person, Hyundai is a big brand, I buy on that statement. When people say, oh, come on, this is a product which has come from Hong Kong, what are you questioning on? Now this is confidence. अगर मेरे पास 1000 क्वेश्चन भी होंगे ना तब भी मैं बोलूंगी नहीं नहीं हांगकांग से आया है और ये बंदा इतना गारंटी से बोल रहा है कुछ तो होगा. So you need to understand your product really well and then genuinely understand the product is good and then have the confidence on that product. People get sold on confidence, and sales may people don't buy product or service, they buy person to person or they buy solutions to their problems. Does that make sense? Okay, these are some of the things. I'll tell you some of the closing techniques which will help you a lot. So typically, I tell my all salespeople never discount the product, because now what is happening is, I'll tell you, now any product or service that you are into, any company even who is creating a product or service, they do their market research really well. So suppose if the product is of 100 rupees, you have to understand the MRPs of 100 rupees of any, just take an example, any product, any company, 100 rupees. Now, if the MRP is 100 rupees, the company would have done the product, जो product में सामान लगा होगा वो 10 रुपए का होगा, ठीक है. उसके बाद उसका मैन्युफैक्चरिंग होगा वो 5 रुपए का होगा. उसके बाद जो ह्यूमन होगा उसके अंदर वो होगा 5 से 7 रुपए का, जो बेसिकली सैलरी डिवाइडेड बाय पर हेड होता है. Then there would be the fixed cost, जैसे electricity, the furniture on all this stuff, the taxations, everything मिला के उसका 5 रुपया होगा. 25 रुपया अभी हो गया. उसके बाद then there is a logistic which will cost another 5 rupees, which is 30 rupees. Now I'm talking from a perspective of product. Now then say it has taken care of कि 20 rupees उसके marketing लगा, क्योंकि marketing में सबसे सारा पैसा लगता है, तो 50 रुपए वैसे ही हो गए उस product के, correct? Now what you need to do is 50 रुपए में, now he says कि मेरा होने के बाद I have to pay a tax of 10 rupees, 60 rupees. Now tell me, the way we are living in the world, 40 rupees is your right to earn the money. So whoever is doing an MRP, they know exactly what pricing are they putting up. They exactly know what pricing they are putting up. So don't discount the product, because if you discount the product, the problem is that you sell, you bring revenue to the client, but the profit of the company is always decreased. This is the calculation which you have to understand from a sales perspective. So if you bring revenue of 100 rupees and if you give a discount of 20 rupees, basically you are earning only 20 rupees for the client, whereas the client expects you to earn 40 rupees for the clients. So you are decreasing the profit. So that is the reason why people are saying, oh, salespeople don't know how to sell, because they are decreasing the profit. And when a founder, owner, director, managing director, CEO, marketing strategist sit, they don't sit, how many products have you sit down? When they do a survey on you as a salesperson, they don't say that how much have you done a revenue. They ask how much profit you have bring in. They talk from the bottom line. So one of the closing technique is never give a discount, downsell. Now, have you seen what is that brand? Okay, Nykaa. Have you seen Nykaa? Everybody has seen Nykaa, right? Now, if you go to Nykaa, if you go to any cosmetic shops, if you go to any utensil shop, if you go to any sofa shop, everybody, okay? What they do is like they don't discount you. Either they give you extra something. They said, I'll give you an insurance, I'll give you this, I'll give you an extra and all that stuff. Or they say you get the smaller product. So all the products that are there in the market, they have the miniature product for them. And that's where you use it. Either you have a downsell that is a smaller one, or you upsell them. Okay, I'll give the same price. See, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to discount you on the pricing. The price is 1,000 rupees only. What I can do you, I'll give you one extra insurance. I'll give you one extra this. I'll give you 1 month's service free. I'll give you this free. So they don't discount the product. They upsell or cross sell. That's called as a downsell. So you know what is upsell? Upsell is adding something, but downsell is something you have a smaller product of it. So that is one of the closing technique which is very highly used in today's generation, because people say, okay, people know that people don't negotiate on pricing. So people say, show me something which is smaller, let me use it. If I like it, I'll come back to you. That's one closing technique. Okay. Now you have to understand closing techniques are the method to encourage the prospect to convert into clients. That means as simple as you have to ask them to pay. Now, which model should you use? Now, for example, now these are some of the questions. Okay. Now you go to any showroom, you are buying mobiles, for example, and you have spent around 45 minutes to 50 minutes or maybe around hours time in that particular showroom. You are buying a mobile. Now, after some time, if the salesperson is thinking, oh, it's already 60 minutes, he start asking you, आप Samsung खरीदेंगे कि आप LG खरीदेंगे? He asks you this question. Now, what is he doing is playing with your mind. This is called as an assumptive close. Now, he's understood that you are here to buy. Otherwise, you would have not spent 60 minutes. But now, either you are confused on the money, or you're confused on the brand, or you're confused on the benefit. Now, he starts putting up a question in such a way that he's putting up your mind to get into one side. So now if he says, oh, you want Samsung or you want this, so he will say, no, I say I want Samsung. So now he'll remove all the LG in front of you and he will say, okay, हमारे पास Samsung की 2-3 brands हैं. Now he again asks you questions. What is that you want? What is your main objective of buying a phone? I need a camera. इसका कैमरे का पिक्चर 26 पिक्सल है. ये बहुत अच्छा है. So are you an Instagrammer by any chance? Oh, no, I'm not an Instagram, but I love clicking photos. But this is something इसमें front और back दोनों है. Now he is putting up your options narrower by having an assumptive close. Because he's closing your mind, because he understood. And trust me, what I'm teaching you, they are trained on that. They are trained on that. That अगर एक कस्टमर ने आधे घंटे से ऊपर अगर आपके शोरूम में स्पेंड किया है, so get into an assumptive close. They are trained on that, very specifically. Are you there, everybody? Thanks. So that's an assumptive close. That's how. Which color do you prefer? This is something that you have in specifically B2C in the capital good. It can happen. It can be a smaller, like a needs section, like clothes, utensil, color combination, nail paint, structure, cosmetic. These are things where assumptive close are highly used. So if you deal into these kind of B2C market where you have product to sell, and which is fast moving product, which are capital goods and all this stuff, assumptive close are highly used. Even in the LIC, if the insurance, somebody said that they are into insurance. I think Mira, I'm so sorry. It was Mira. Mira is into that. So Mira said now Mira actually can use an assumptive close. She can say, Mira can actually use assumptive close. Okay, आपको कौन सा LIC चाहिए? आप ये वाला सोच रहे हो कि ये वाला सोच रहे हो? अच्छा ये वाला सोच लो आप. Then you give an answer to them. That's an assumptive close. Are you clear with assumptive close?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the second type of conversion closing. Now, when would you like to schedule? Now somebody is sitting and now you have a product which is little higher to pay. Say, for example, it is costlier than 30,000, 40,000. So now you don't get into assumptive close because now the pricing is also coming to picture. Now you ask questions like, will you pay through credit cards? When do you want me to schedule the installation? Just give me 1 second, please. Just give me 1 second. So when people ask you this question, what would you like to have an installation about the geyser? Which model do you prefer? Which model would you prefer on a two-wheeler? Would you like to go for a white color or a gray color? Whose name should I raise the invoice? Now, these are a very typical question where they're asking you to give an answer. In the first, you are giving two options. In that two option, you are choosing. Here, you are asking a question where they have to give an answer on the buying. Now, these kind of closing are called as oh, no, sorry. No, sorry. This is actually the common questions that you ask into assumptive close. Okay, these are assumptive close. Now the second closing technique is, which is also called as a scarcity close. Now these are extremely used by Amazon, Myntra, Nykaa, Reliance. If you see their ads, last day today, the people who put up an exhibition, last day today, lightning deal for the today. You open Instagram, you open Amazon, and it's to lightning deal of the today. So you actually buy it. And trust me, I do buy sometimes. 50% discount till 21st of June. Scarcity close. It's today or never. So far people said if you buy the sofa, if you remember that, or if you buy today, I'll give you 10,000 more discount. 10,000 is a matter. A person who is buying a 11 lakh rupees, 10,000 matters. And along with that, I'm giving a free delivery. For that free delivery and matter is almost like 15,000 rupees. For them, it's a huge amount. So it's now or never close. And that's called as a scarcity close. You do scarcity close when you want people to take immediate actions. Immediate actions. So you actually get into assumptive close also, and then you get into scarcity close itself as well. Now, these are some of the examples, end of the sales. Street burrito combo, take one buy free. There is one that has come up in Indranagar in Bangalore. Yesterday only I saw it was a men wear and it says buy 2 get 6 free. And I'm like, kya hai 6 free? So these are a scarcity close. Buy 2 get 6 free. It's a scarcity. Matlab, acha.
No, even Swati, you go to these branded outlets, no, the factory outlets. You see it's the same kind of, hoardings.
Yes. Yes. So exactly, they use a technique. This is called as the techniques. These are all techniques. By the way, a lot of people use different techniques based on the product line they are dealing into, based on the industry they are into, and based on the customer or the clientele they are working with. So different techniques are used differently. So I'm trying to tell you every technique. So whichever suits to your product line, please use that technique more often. But that doesn't mean that you can't change the technique. You can, of course, change the technique based on the person who is buying and sitting in front of you. That's the third. So basically, there are 4 types of scarcity questions. One is the pricing, one is the quantity, one is a premium, and one is an offer. Now, I'll give you an example of pricing. Okay, if you buy today, I'll give you a discount of 10%. Pricing scarcity. So if you buy tomorrow, I will not give you a discount. That's called as a pricing scarcity. Okay, it's a very simple pricing. आपको पता है discount of money होता है, उसमें और कोई question ही नहीं है. क्वालिटी स्कैरसिटी मैडम, ये आखिरी का पीस बचा हुआ है, फिर ऐसा प्रोडक्ट आएगा कि नहीं आएगा मुझे गारंटी नहीं है. बहुत सारे ऐसे इसके सामान आएंगे, पर ये आएगा कि नहीं आएगा ये मुझे पता नहीं है, जबकि उसको पता है कल जाके वही आने वाला है वापस. He knows that it will come because his vendor is fixed, but still he will create that. Premium scarcity, ma'am. This is a sofa. It's a Scandinavian look. It is coming in the market. People will look. Oh, come on, you have done. कहाँ से खरीदा? Premium scarcity. मैम इसकी बहुत बुकिंग चल रही है. मैं आप अभी बुकिंग नहीं करोगे तो मेरे को कोई गारंटी नहीं आप शाम तक रहेगा कि नहीं रहेगा. आप देख लो. Don't people use this kind of techniques? I'm asking you. People do use this kind of technique. Have you heard? Yes, they do it. And we don't realize it. Of course, now you realize it. Offer scarcity. अच्छा, आज आप डील कर लोगे तो कल मैं आपको फ्री डिलीवरी 2 चीज और दे दूंगा, 4 कूपन और दे दूंगा. बस ऑफर आज के लिए वैलिड है. आप आज करोगे तो ठीक है, तो फिर मैडम कल तो रेगुलर प्राइस लगने वाला है. Okay. So this is called as a second type of closing. Some more example of the scarcity clause. This is the last one that I have this at price. We give you 20% discount just for the customer who sign up today. If you commit to sign up now, I can commit you to fast track your implementation process. These are some of the examples of scarcity, and people do use this kind of scarcity. Now, this is called as a sharp angle close. This is one of the closing technique only. Now, prospect generally ask for discount and add-ons, and when they know that you have an upper hand on deal, in such case, salesmen, if they give an authority, they go ahead and deal it. Now, If I give you a discount, you have to close the deal today. Now, this is called as a sharp angle close. Okay. Now, once again, I'll give you an example for this. So what happens typically, this kind of closing happens in the automobile industry, or maybe it could be on the manufacturing kind of industry, or it could be on the real estate industry. Now I'll tell you how does that happen. So what happens with, if you go to a car, of course, when you buy a car, you at least need a decision making of 15 days. You don't go in the car and say, acha, aaj main car kharida hu. Aisa nahi hota hai. You go and one, then you go to second, then you have a test drive. It takes 15 days typically from you. Now, once you have done your homework and you again come back to one car manufacturer, say for example, you have come to Hyundai. Now the same person knows that, okay, you have come back. Now he knows that you have made up a mind. Coming back is also a buying signal for him, where he knows that you have made up a mind to buy a Hyundai. Okay. Now what he is doing, he'll sit down with you, he'll understand, he'll again restructure all the pricing to you. He will say, aisa, vaisa, dimka, timka, he will say a lot of stuff. And then again, you are saying, ki, acha, the pricing is not still fitting to me. Can you just give me some more discount? Can you just look for some more insurance? Can you just understand how does the finance work for me? Because now you're going to buy. He knows, because if you're coming second time to the same showroom, you have made up a mind to 80-85% that you will buy. Now, there's a sharp angle close. Now, just understand how do they talk. They will say, Madam, sir, आप 1 लाख रुपए दो, deal close करो. मैं आपको कल शाम तक एक साल का इंश्योरेंस और बढ़ा के देता हूं. And I'm telling you, they have the authority, and they will say, you have to talk to my manager, but I'll try my best to do that. And frankly, they have the authority to do that. They themselves will go and sign किसका 1 साल का इंश्योरेंस बढ़ा दो. अगर आप ऐसा करोगे तो I'll give you these 3 accessories free. Sharp angle close, but you do the down payment now. If you do it now, 1 lakh rupees from your credit card or something, I'll make sure that the processing fee is not applicable to you. So 9 lakh rupees, for the 9 lakh rupees which you're taking as a loan, I'll make sure there is no processing fee. मैं processing fee free करवा देता हूँ आपका, आप मेरे पे भरोसा रखो. Don't you hear these kind of conversations? I'm asking. You hear these kind of conversation, right? These are all closing techniques. And when they are being trained, they are trained on these kind of closing techniques. They are told to say 1, 2, 3, 4 points. They have learned it by heart. I have only trained people on sales on the sharp closing. I said, learn karo, inko aise hi bechna hai. Okay, that's the third way of closing technique. Now we are talking about the fourth way of closing technique, which is called as a question closing technique. Now I'll tell you one scenario which has recently really happened to me. The client was very adamant, very irritable, and he was just not listening to me. And he was like, "Nahi, aapka price bahut high hai. Nahi, aap price kam karo." Matlab, if the product is of example 1 lakh rupees, he's telling me to give it 70,000 rupees. Matlab, he's telling me to give a 30% discount, which is like phenomenally very, very dip in the product margin. I said, sir, nahi ho sakta hai. Matlab, I'm convincing that person left, right, center is not listening to me. You will always find people like this in your sales career. That's okay. So I'm talking when I was into sales, when I was selling the products. So he's not listening to me, he's not listening to me, he's not listening to me. Then ultimately, I just got up from there and I said, sir, I'll just come back and I'll just speak to you. Just give me 5 minutes. My manager is calling me. I just went outside. I just had a water. I calmed my mount down and I was like, why is he not listening to me? What's wrong with this guy? And then I came back and I said, sir, I understand that you want a 30% of depth. I totally get that. I came back, I sat and I said, let's talk, sir. You want 30,000 minus, which is you're talking about 30% of depth. Can you just help me understand, why do you want this pricing? I mean, I'm just not able to get that, because I'm able to explain you why my pricing is 85. I can come to 85. I can give 15,000, but I can give you 30,000. I can explain you why 15,000, but can you explain me why 30,000? Now, he said he was not able to answer that question because he was unreasonable in asking. Now, I said, sir, आपको answer ही नहीं पता है कि क्यों 30,000, आप कुछ भी बोलोगे तो नहीं होगा. And then where I got into the analogy, मैंने कहा, सर, आप भी तो सोचिए ना, आपका प्रोडक्ट भी तो आप बेचते होंगे, कुछ तो आप भी तो काम कर रहे होंगे. आपका प्रोडक्ट अगर कोई 100 रुपए का है तो आपको 30 रुपए लगा तो आप करोगे क्या? Now, the question, then he said, मैं सोचता हूँ. and then after 5 days he came, I'll close this deal. So rather than now explaining him, I was like, "Ki maan hi nahi raha. This guy is not even listening to me. So let him just put the question to him. Let him answer. If he would have given an answer on the 30,000, probably I would have given him on 25,000. I would have taken that hit. Ki okay, हमने यहाँ पे profit भी नहीं किया, नुकसान भी नहीं किया. Let the customer be there. But as he was not able to answer, he got a closing of 85,000, which is a 15% dip, which we are eligible to talk, which everybody knows कि आप इतना discount दे सकते हो, which sales person are aware about their products and services. Are you getting what am I saying? Okay, so that's the one. So now let's talk about the fifth closing technique, which is called as a psychological approach. Now, first I'll tell you what this is a technique. This is called as a take away close. Okay. Now, what does that mean? Just picture a kid. This is a psychological approach. Imagine if you take away the toy from the kids, what will they do? They will shout and cry. So so that you give them back the toys. In the few prospects are so freakingly adamant on pricing. उनको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता किसी और चीज से, but they want कि हमको हमारे pricing पर ही चाहिए. And the worst part with these kind of, sometimes the clientels are, they don't get up from their place and say हम खरीदेंगे भी यही और ये हम अपने pricing पे ही खरीदेंगे. You understand? It also happens. So now in this scenario, there is something called as takeaway clause. Now what they do is, when they give you at the pricing that they want, they will reduce something where the cost is there to the company. So what happens is, I'll give you an example. Say for example, in manufacturing unit, suppose you're buying a car. And in that car, you say, oh, I want this car in 10 lakh rupees only, and I want in 10 lakh rupees only. I want the Hyundai only. Example. Now, I'm getting adamant as a customer. I'm not listening to what my salesperson is saying. Then what salesperson says, okay, I'll give you 10 lakh rupees my car, but he will not tell you. He will reduce the cost of insurance. He will reduce that the number plate has been not given to you. He will reduce the RTO registration where you have to pay him extra. So ultimately, you're paying everything extra which that was added on to your product. But you as a person will think, oh, I got a discount of, I got the pricing of my product. But the customer sometimes doesn't understand that add-ons are been minused. And in fact, now they are paying more, because when an insurance company tie up with a manufacturer or a dealer of a car, their rates are different. But when I go individual to them, their rates are different. So they charge us on PMM. So if they would have charged the manufacturer, the dealer of 5,000, now he would charge me 7,000. Now I'm paying extra, in fact. But some people just don't understand. You can't do with them. So with that kind of people, you always have a takeaway clause. You give them that at the price that they want, but you take away a lot of stuff. You take away. Simple. You take away from them. Are you there? And this is the last closing technique, which says an alternative close. It is a sales where you present two options in front of the prospect rather than asking a yes/no question. You say, these are two products. Which one do you want to buy? Simple, alternative close. There's nothing to talk much about it. So this is something that I have finished the session at, but I'll talk about something.
Swati cannot hear you.
Sorry, everyone. Every time I want to shut down the PPT, the screen gets shut down. I don't know why. My mistake. So before I go to something very important now, I want to ask you, do you have any questions when it comes to the buying signals, how people buy, why people buy, and different alternatives or techniques of closing techniques? These are basics, but they are fundamental. They are still there in the market. People still use left, right, center. So they are there. So firstly, do you have any questions on this? Switch on the cameras. Payal, Nisha, Sarda, Meera, Manju, Jaya.
No questions.
Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear?
Really amazing, Swati.
Thank you. ये क्या हुआ? Okay. Just 1 second. I'll click a photo as everybody's on the screen. One second.
Swati, I have a
Okay,
question.
so you got the.
If you can answer.
Yes, please. Why would I not answer?
Swati, no, I guess the time is getting over. That's why. So,
No,
Swati, I just
we
wanted
still
to know.
have
I
to
have
do
a
that.
client who has.
Hmm.
I have a client who has got all the information. Um, got the product on almost on the price which he was requesting. Yet, after having everything, they're non-responsive now. Is there anything that we as a salesperson can do to win back our client?
Yeah. So first tell me what product are you selling?
I'm into education field, and we actually we do a lot of activities with the schools. We also are in provide library books and all. So the product which I'm talking about is our programs and activities that we do for a school.
Okay. So you have your company or you work for the company?
I work for the company.
Okay. Now you work with the school. So basically you have a lot of activities, which is you supply them to school and school use them for the students, right? That benefits the student.
Right,
Now,
absolutely.
2-3 questions to you. First, did you understood there is a problem with the pricing or is a problem with the positioning of the product?
It is with the pricing initially, like they asked for a heavy discount. With management approval, we gave that also. But after that, they have gone silent despite getting what they
Fair.
wanted. So since you
So how do
mentioned
you communicate with them? How do you communicate with them?
it's over mail and calls and even sometime visits, all three.
Okay. So whenever you feel like maybe tomorrow or today evening, write them a mail. Okay, write them a mail stating that hi, Payal. I am sure there was all the questions were answered from my end. There was an understanding of a pricing understanding that we came into picture. Just wanted to understand, is there any question that I would like to that you are stuck up at? I am more than happy to help you. I just want you to come on the conversation with me for one time. So let us understand whether we want to close the deal or we have some hanging around. Now, these are some of the things. Just put these lines into ChatGPT, make it more beautified, make it more simple, make it more sales approach kind of thing without being salesy, and send them. Now, once they come on call and they say, okay, we want to talk, let's open the conversation. So then you have to, after giving a discount, they will always say, no, I have this problem, that problem. So now you have to downsell them. You tell them, let's start a deal at least. See, the pricing has already come to something to you. So you can start with whatever section you have. So if you have 4 products, so you say, let's start with a smaller thing. You have to downsell them. And then start featuring that. And now what you when you downsell them, at the same time, make very sure of that they understand if they don't buy the rest of the product, what is the disadvantage on their students and their reputation. What is they losing out on? So you now have to touch their pain points. Now their pain point for the school is always a reputation. The pain points of the school is their children are not performing well. So you have to say, now if your product gives a physical thing, okay, and that gives you a cognitive development. So now understand the science behind the cognitive development. Say, for example, you have a 5-year-old child ka game. So what is the development that brings in? And if you don't bring that product, how is that 5 years is equal to other schools? And if you bring in, how does your school affects? What does a teacher would be talking or the parent would be talking? So now you have to talk from the value perspective on what they're losing on. Now come to their brand image, come to the losing. कि अगर आपने मेरा प्रोडक्ट नहीं खरीदा तो आपको क्या नुकसान हो रहा है वो देखो, मेरा मत देखो, मैं तो किसी और क्लाइंट के पास भी चले जाऊंगा. Are you getting what am I saying? Now you have to bring the ball in your own court and say कि भैया, there is a value which every customer loses if they don't buy something that they want. You have to figure out that value. So if your product is of, say, for example, 2 lakh rupees as a deal for a year, example. Now, if they don't buy that 2 lakh rupees, it's not a value of 2 lakhs rupees. What are they losing on? They're losing on the cognitive development of one child. One child का fees अगर 2 लाख है और हर का strength 20 है, तो they're losing on another 20, or they're just adding up the 20. So now do the calculation in such a way that it creates a hauntingness to them. Now here you talk business. This is a conversation of business. Now you don't become a salesy. कि मेरे को दे दो, मेरे को दे दो, मेरे को दे दो. Don't become. Talk business. That's where you gain the credibility. And when you talk business, you have the guts to ask them reference. Are you getting what am I saying, Payal? So पहला मेल जाएगा. मेल जाएगा ये चीज का कि आप खुश हो, आपके प्रोजेक्ट पर आ गया है. Is there something that is stopping you? I want you to, and say with authority, let's get on the call. I want you to come on the call. Don't ask them, can we get on the call? Tell them, we want to get on the call with you to solve your problems. This is an authority. Because तुमने उसकी pricing पे कम किया ना, अब authority के साथ बात करो. Okay, that's first portion.
Okay.
Now, before you get on the call with them, be very prepared. Get all the 10 questions that possibly they can ask you. और उसके against उसकी value create करो. Monetary, cognitive, branding, सबकी. So you have an answer. So your preparation, your negotiation should be prepared. If you remember in the negotiation, I told be prepared. So आपको उसकी वैल्यू तैयार करनी पड़ेगी पूरी कि ये 10 क्वेश्चन है, वही 10 क्वेश्चन पूछेगा तो इसके 10 के ये आंसर है और वो 10 ही में से ही पूछेगा, घुमा फिरा के वो 10 में से ही पूछेगा. क्या पूछ सकता है? अरे नहीं चल रहा है, मेरे मैनेजमेंट ने नहीं बोला, अरे हम लोग अभी नहीं सोच रहे, हमने ड्रॉप कर दिया. क्यों ड्रॉप कर दिया? अच्छा, क्यों ड्रॉप कर दिया पे वो आंसर देंगे. फिर उनको बताना व्हाट आर यू लूजिंग ऑन. Again, you're creating that bond. So I'm okay. I understand that you have dropped the program, but let me just give you an understanding that what are you losing on. Say these kind of words and very, very subtly, but very affirmatively. I'll tell you, see, you have to understand my value is only 2 lakh rupees or 5 lakh rupees. But you know what? If you apply this to your child, there is a development on cognitive. And when child gets a cognitive development, they talk in the society. Now the marketing money that you're putting up to get the children in your society is like 10 lakh rupees. Now, if you get half the people only by the word of mouth because you have done something in the previous year, now your marketing cost is reduced by 5 lakh rupees. Does that cost you saving? It is going to give you an ROI for the next year. So if you're saying, I gave you 5 lakhs, I'm saving 5 lakhs. It is equivalent. Perfect. It is equivalent. But that's an ROI which gives you in the second years of return. And I understand this is a business for you. Are you getting what am I saying?
Right.
This is business talk.
Yes.
And this is
Thanks.
sales
Thanks,
business
Swati.
talk. So tell them
Swati,
what
one
they're
more
losing.
thing I want to ask. Yes, I absolutely got your point, and thank you for your guidance on this. One more thing, suppose in this all this conversation, if something's from my client sides come up that the competitors are providing so and so things, and if I'm losing the business because of my competition, what should be my approach in that case?
Okay. So in that case, you should know your first 3 competitors. What are they doing? What are they selling? What are they good at? And what you are good at. Now you have to sit down and understand if they are good at 1, 2, 3, 4 points. And do you have anything counters on that? So that's where the negotiation comes. So you have to do your competitive research very strongly. So if they say they are doing the pricing good, they are doing the delivery, they are doing this. So there is something that there is a loophole, which you need to figure out.
USP. Yeah, the USP of the product.
Not USP, the loophole. USP is different. Loopholes are different. So I'm asking to figure out the loophole. Everybody has a loophole. Every company in the world has a loophole. So figure out the loophole. So you then sit down and tell them, see, my competitor is giving you at this price. We are also giving you at this price. My competitor is giving you this. I'm also giving you this. My competitor is giving you this. I'm also giving you this. But I'm giving you something which my competitor is not giving. And this is going to add value, and tell them what is the value for that. For that, your research and your preparation should be very strong. Trust me, negotiation में preparation बहुत बड़ा role play करता है.
I agree completely.
So that's how you do it. So top 5 things that your competitor good at, top 5 things that you're good at. What are the top things that counter your competitor's top 5 things? What are the good things that your things counter to the top 5 things of your competitors? Done?
Thank you, Swati. Thank you, Swati. I think I'll be much better prepared for this order next time when I'll be visiting my client.
Sure. So that's absolutely good. You can, of course, save my number if you want to get in touch with me. I can help you with the lot of some things like this. No problem. I am absolutely open with this because I love sales. I live sales. So that's my number. That's my number. I have shared it with everybody. On that very note, I have. Somebody was saying something.
And I really appreciate I was only appreciating your sessions. I love attending your sessions. They are so insightful, Swati. And, it helps me prepare better for my work when I attend your session. I loved your negotiation session. Somehow I missed the first 2 sessions because I was out of town. But I would really like if there's any recording available, which I could see and, gain out of it.
That Swati would be more right person to answer. Swati from Harki. So please ask to her. I'm sure there is a recording because she always have a recording button there. So you can speak to them about the recording and you can just get the recording. Any which ways, if you want some help from me, I'm always available because my agenda is very simple. I love creating brands. मुझे brands बनाने में बहुत मजा आता है. The more the deal I crack, the more I get close. I sleep peacefully. I love sales. You have no idea how much I am in love with sales. So या तो मेरे थ्रू या मैं दोनों में से कुछ भी हो सकता है. या तो मैं बेचूं या मैं किसी को बिचवाऊं. दोनों में से कुछ भी हो सकता है. So that's about me. My name is Swati Gupta. Thank you. You were lovely participants. It's 4:25. I'll close it now. But let me just give you certain things. I am pretty much available on the call. My number has been mentioned. If you want to say me hi, please say me hi. Please follow me on Harki platform. Please follow me on LinkedIn platform. I am a sales growth coach. I work with companies and I work with small and medium companies as well. I help them grow on their revenues. I sit down with them and work on their sales mindset to sales coaching and everything. And I get very systematic when it comes to specialized companies. Now, when I say specialized, as in terms of this is a platform, it's a through company. Okay. Now, if I sit with the manufacturing, of course, I'm going to think from the manufacturing point of view. So I get very systematic. I'm a very result driven person. If you think that I can be a person who you can recommend to, where I can pitch them what I want and I can help them in their sales and marketing, do recommend me. That's just I wanted to say at the end of the thing. And of course, my number has been given, and I would love to close more deals for myself. I love sales. I love creating brands, and sales is the most beautiful thing on the earth. All right. Thank you so very much. Yes, yeah. Thank you so very much, and good evening to each one of you. Swati, I'm done with my session. Please go ahead, please.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Swati. It was such an insightful session, and you have put all your efforts as well as your energy for your all the sessions. It was really, very. I can say it was really very, very good experience. Like while listening to all your sessions, and I hope, ladies, you all enjoyed the session with Swati. Okay, thank you so much, Swati.
Thank you so much, and good evening, everyone.
Yeah. And ladies, you will have your next session on Monday. Okay. And the session